Hi, and welcome to the Art Block with Ant and Derek here on Making TV WPGA. How you doing, Derek?
I'm doing okay, Ant. How about you?
Good, 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 good.
Great.
So, go ahead and tell our audience today what our topic is.
Well, our today's topic is classic art versus modern art, and what are the differences, and are they respected, or what are your views on it? I mean, art has always been around since the beginning of time, or at least there hasn't been not one human civilization that didn't have type of art. It's as a way of expressing yourself, outside of getting sustenance. I mean, all the way from hieroglyphics from ancient Egypt to
Cave
ancient
paintings.
cave paintings, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, to now. There's been a lot of form of art. I guess classical would be, would be something from last 500-600 years.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. I was going to question, what do we consider? Where's the classic period begin and end? Does the modern art begin at Monet forward?
Well,
does it begin after that?
that's a good question.
What do you think it begins and ends?
Maybe
classical and then.
modern? Maybe it depends on the type of the subject. I mean, if you're talking about landscapes, like
still life.
yeah.
So you think it's a subject matter?
Yeah, depending on the subject matter, or maybe even portraits. Because if you look at the Renaissance, like take for instance Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa and other paintings, Rembrandt, yeah.
Right.
The details of the person, of the facial features were so distinct that it's almost, were totally unprecedented at that time, and hasn't been that way since, until photography was developed.
Right.
Truth be told, and it might be possible that because of photography developing back during the 19th century, mid 1800s, that maybe that's when, I guess, quote unquote, modern art first had its infancy, its beginning.
Right. Maybe so, but I don't know. I don't really like the whole splitting up the genres. What's considered classical, modern. I'm the guy, art's art.
Well, yeah, that's very true.
All subjective.
It's subjective. I guess it depend on your type of, of suggestive, definition of it. Like, say, when photography came out, there was no need to make portrait art. You could just have, you didn't have to have an easel to paint a person's portrait. You could just do that for, you just had a camera. You didn't.
Well, I don't think.
Granted, you didn't have color photography during the 1800s, but nevertheless, if you wanted some type of definition, you probably wanted that photography.
Right. But I just think it. I think it actually is quality of artist also, and I might get some, boos and hisses for this, but I just don't think the canvas artists, painters, in general, are as good as they used to be, period. And you might owe that to, I don't know, the surge in technology,
Well, yes, obviously.
In the old great days, there was none of TV to keep your mind occupied. There weren't computers, there weren't telephone. These artists worked hours.
Yeah, there weren't
any
cameras for that matter.
Right.
Because which goes back to photography.
Maybe they studied better then, because that's all they had all the time to do that.
Yes.
They really practiced and honed their craft. You hear these stories of these artists and their models, and how they put their models through absolute hell, these poses for hours,
Yes.
And these great paintings.
And plus, you have to have new sources of inspiration.
Right,
you need some type of muse or some to inspire the artist.
But I think even modern art has muses. I don't think they only had muses then and they don't now. Mm-hmm. I think you have muses now. Mm-hmm. I just think now, it's like Warhol said. I don't like a lot about Warhol. I don't care for his art that much. I don't really think he's a great artist. But he said, everybody will be famous for 15 minutes in the future. I paraphrase. And he's right in a way, because now everybody is an artist, or they can be an artist, and that's fine. Art is, like I said, subjective. But I think now there's too much at our hands to the technology's there for everybody to be an artist too. I guess I'll say that.
Okay.
And everything, again, we've talked about this before. It's this day and age of everybody wants things fast. It's this drive through, you know,
You want like
life,
instant results.
instant results, you know, bam, bam, pop the art out,
Microwave
whatever.
results, yeah.
And the old masters, you know, took months, years.
Yeah, like Michelangelo with the Sistine
Exactly,
Chapel. You
exactly.
just couldn't make,
Exactly.
you
And-
couldn't be there's no microwave masterpieces
Right,
out
right.
there.
I remember years ago, I remember going to the Dali Museum in Florida back in the early 90s. I mean, and seeing some of his real pieces of art, you know, I had seen pictures of them, never seen them in person, and had no idea that some of them were that big until I went to the museum and saw how huge some of his pieces were.
Exactly.
You know, because the books don't do them justice when you see these pieces of art.
That's very, very true.
And to me, of if you want to call a modern artist, my favorite modern artist is Salvador Dali.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I do like
without
the
a
one with the
doubt.
melting clocks.
I
That
think
was
my favorite.
very creative. I mean, plus as far as inspiration, or sometimes you have to maybe travel or see something or research something to give you inspiration. Like Picasso, you know, one of the, you know, I guess one of the pioneers of modern art, or at least in the early 20th century, with the African-inspired Cubism, where the abstract, you have a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of subject in just abstract expressionism in art, where like in Cubism, the subject is just basically broken into pieces and just rebuilt, put together, you know.
Right.
And also maybe Jackson Pollock's drip painting style.
And that's questionable art too. You know, it's opinion. You know, I don't really care for Jackson Pollock's art either. Just like I don't care for Warhol's. To tell you the truth, I just don't.
Well, I mean, unless you, I mean, you really have to. I guess you have to really like Campbell's soup. I guess.
Well, you know, and then also when you find out, Warhol had everybody else do his silk screens for him. You know, he didn't even do it. He's got people in the factory doing them for him.
So you have ghost artists,
and then his
like
name's
ghost
on it.
writers,
right? You know, and everybody that's hanging out with him is doing it. You know, but you know, Warhol, he hit on a time. He came at the right time, and that was the day and age when that stuff was going on. It was all about that. The pop culture was hitting hard, and he knew it, and he was smart enough to jump on that wagon, and he did what he did, and he's considered, you know, one of the great artists.
Yeah. So I guess maybe pop art could be a form of.
That is a form of art. It is. That's that. But to me, comparing the two, if you're going to say pop art and modern art, as in from 1900s on, and you're comparing it to the old classics, the masters, there's no comparison to me.
That's very true.
Other than Dali. Dali, I think, could have a rightful place in that earlier period.
Oh, yes.
I think so. And there's a few others.
Dali and Picasso.
Yeah, Picasso's okay, but I just we'll talk more when we come back from this break, and we'll be back with our guest Heidi Clinite.
Roasted Cafe and Lounge is a wonderland of great coffee, tasty food, good people, and fun times. Come in and try our world-famous date shake. We also offer beer, wine, and alcohol, as well as many flavored tobaccos to try out in our beautifully made hookahs. Curiouser and curiouser, Roasted Cafe and Lounge, located on 442 2nd Street in downtown Macon. Check us out on Facebook and join us for a wondrous experience that will have you coming back for more.
Welcome back to the Art Block with Ant and Derek. We're now joined by our guest, artist Heidi Clinite. Welcome, Heidi.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So, Heidi, give us a little backstory about you. Just, you know, when you started making art, do you have any formal training? Have you gone to school for it?
Okay.
us know.
Yeah, I've always loved, even as a kid, I was like, when I grow up, I'm going to be an artist.
Right.
And so I remember when I was in high school, I painted a mural on my basement wall. And that's why the house sold when we moved.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
So they like that. And then,
First piece sold.
yeah, and
Wow.
then when I went to Mercer University, I studied at, I did my minor in fine arts. And then, and this past year I was studying at the Art Students League of New York,
Wow.
figure
Wow.
drawing.
Wow.
And so
Impressive.
and we started that here as well at the Arts Exchange.
Wow. Okay. So tell us, you heard our conversation earlier, what we're talking about. What are your feelings on the state of art, and in particular, painting and canvas art, not just music and all that, but what are your feelings on art, the state of art nowadays, now?
It's interesting because right now I think we're in a state of we don't know what phase of art we're in, what to
Right.
call ourselves.
Right.
Because there's so much going on. Like you said, everybody's an artist, so there's so many different ways to express yourself and so many different paths to follow and to
So many
reach it.
genres.
So many genres, exactly, that you can bring old stuff back, and you can go in that way
Right.
as well. So.
Right. And so who are, this is a tricky question probably, but who are some of your influences? Or do
Well, I like a lot of older stuff as
Right.
well. Like if you want to talk about realism, that like the classical
Right.
Caravaggio,
yeah.
that'll grip you. Just
Oh yeah.
And that refers back to the whole thing about the model. He was
Yeah.
one of the artists that put his models through
Oh, yeah.
absolute living hell.
I'm surprised he actually
Yeah.
didn't cut. Well, I think
Yeah.
he did murder one.
Yeah, I think he did.
Wow.
He was
Cutting off their
quite a
heads and-
character.
You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
But tell us, you brought some of your artwork
Yes.
here, and tell us about these.
Okay, so
This one in
this is
particular?
some of my recent work. This is a sample I did for the Cherry Street Cycles. They want a mural on the outside of their building, and so we're waiting to get that
Very
approved
nice.
by the city.
Right.
And so here I did it in a vintage. Well, I got the texture of the wall that it will be on, just so I got an idea of what
Right.
the surface would be like, and then we discussed. We decided to put it in the style of a vintage Coca-Cola mural that you see that's
Oh, I
faded
see.
on buildings
Right,
that around town. You'll see that, so
Right.
it'd be fun to bring that back.
So funny you mentioned canvas. Does it? So you determine how to represent the subject through a certain type of canvas, or the certain texture of the canvas? Does it determine, make or break the look?
Yeah, if you get linen canvas, that's usually the better canvas to do portraits on, and you want to use oil paint on that.
Okay.
Whereas I prefer using acrylic paint.
Okay.
Right.
I like that it dries fast and I can move,
Right.
keep.
And these are all acrylic,
Yeah.
which you brought with you.
Acrylic.
These are all
Okay.
acrylic.
Okay, what about this one here?
So this one was for an art contest. Like I entered through UGA. They have a collection
Okay.
of Renaissance art, and you're supposed to be inspired by a particular painting that they had. They had a lot of saints. It was all religious art, Renaissance, and so I decided to do to make people that I know. I turned them into because I figured who really loves what they do, who continues to do what they do, to do what they love, despite what other people think, and you know all the.
Right.
So I picked in this case Roger Riddle, who you know from the Rookery bartends, but he's also a DJ,
Right.
and he works, and he also is funny because I like to think of it as that he has disciples, like other DJs
Right.
come to
right,
him and ask
right.
him for advice.
He's their mentor.
Yeah,
Right,
and
right, right.
and I asked him what if he were going to be canonized as a saint of DJs, what album would be his halo, and he chose Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
I thought that was
okay.
really appropriate.
And who's the gentleman on the other side?
And that is Damon Allen from the Cherry Street Cycles,
Right,
where
right.
he is. He's the cycling encyclopedia. He just knows everything there is to know about cycling. He lives
Wow.
and breathes cycling, and so I put a bicycle tire as his halo.
Good. Neat idea.
That's very, very
What
creative.
about the last one here? You
Okay,
brought
so
us?
this one, this is a piece I did. This is a sample for the mural I'm painting on the old dry cleaning building on College Street. Yeah, it was chosen. It was a grant from the Knight Foundation.
Right.
The facade squad is trying to fix up. They like to fix up old buildings and make them look presentable to prospective business owners that want to, move in and
Right.
create a business downtown. So so as part of fixing up the building, they want a mural on this one, and so
Right.
this is going to be. And they wanted something to do with community, and I was just like, oh man, I was going to do something like wild and crazy, but I decided, I was like, what is community to me? I asked myself, and so I started brainstorming, and so I painted all my friends. My friends are my muses, like you were talking about,
Yeah.
muses today, and so
Right.
the farmer's market, and in the background, there's Swiss chard growing. It's just really bright and beautiful, and that's a local plant, so this is.
Cool. So tell the audience real quick where, if they're interested in getting you to do a painting for them, how they can get in touch with you.
Oh, okay. I have a page on Facebook. It's just Heidi Clinite, Heidi. My last
Right.
name Clinite. You can email me there. I have one of those picture albums is my portfolio. You can flip
Right.
through my artwork there, and
Right. Okay, I brought. I want to do something real quick with you before we go to commercial break.
Oh.
I brought the classic board game. Yes, board game masterpiece. The classic art auction game. We're not going to play the game. We're just going to pull out some of the famous paintings that they have. I'll get your opinion real quick, Heidi. Okay.
okay.
And what you think of these artists and these particular pictures, or just the artist. Edward Hopper's famous Nighthawks. The
Yeah.
people in the diner. What do you think of Hopper?
Great.
Yeah,
Good.
it's
Winner.
good stuff. Fragonard, Jean-Honoré Fragonard.
I guess I hadn't heard of him.
You hadn't heard of him?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I like that. It's a lot of character in that. It's kind of the brushstroke is.
It's like
ladylike
part
Van Gogh.
Monopoly, part Clue.
Yeah. Oh, Frederick Remington now. Frederick
Oh,
Remington,
that's the winner. Yeah.
famous for all the great westerns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
So would you say?
I was just
would
out
you,
west, so that.
Would
I
you say the
appreciate that.
classic artists though were? Is that fair to say, in your opinion, that the classic artists were better, or do you think it's still just subjective? Or
Yeah,
I mean, it
it
is,
depends
but-
on the society thing, but also like because society demands what kind of art you make
Right.
often.
Right.
Right.
Also, modern artists now, they work just as hard, if not more, than classic artists.
You think so?
Oh yeah,
Really?
They
Really?
it makes me really happy to have commissions and I get to clock in.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
That's
yeah, maybe.
to be my day
Maybe.
job.
I
Whereas
always
them,
thought-
they do it full time.
I always thought, was Norman Rockwell an inspiration to you? Because it seems like,
Yeah.
because it seemed like the pop art with the cherry street cycles were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Very
love the
influential.
vintage.
It's
Like,
got the
stuff.
vintage. Yeah, this is a good
Yeah,
vintage look.
that's what I'm doing. I'm doing another mural right now for Centenary Church. It's of Macon, of bicyclists and cyclists and tour to Georgia, but it also has like the old school. It's got a man on a vintage bicycle playing a kazoo because the kazoo was released here in Georgia.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll be back after this message.
What kind of madhouse is this? Is this any way to treat a man? Where's your humanity?
Athens Mattress Outlet, proudly serving Athens and the University of Georgia community. Featuring the Energy Series Pillow Top for only $3.99. Avoid the hassle of moving a mattress when your student leaves home to attend UGA. Athens Mattress Outlet is an online retailer based in Athens and now serving all of Georgia. Call or click today.
The only good bed is an Athens mattress bed.
And we're back on the art block, and I'm with Mr. Martel. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm an actor, producer. I've done recent films such as The Campaign Game, which was mentioned in the Real Making Film Festival as well, which was a wonderful project that got underway, and just
Right.
trying to network with different actors and bring more filmmakers into the central Georgia area.
Okay, great. So you're competing against Heidi Clinite, who's in another part of the studio who can't see or hear us. We're going to be playing charades. So hopefully, let's get it underway and see who's the winner. How many words? 2 words. Okay. Is it a movie? a story, a book, sculpture. Oh, driving. A driver, race car, a NASCAR, car driver, driver, car driver. 2 words. Stop. Stick shift, driving shift, driving lessons, driver's ed. Traffic light, driver traffic, driver school, driver's ed. Driver's, pass. Okay. Okay, how many words? 2 words, okay. It's movie, car, a movie, story, book, painting, art. Painting, it's art. A statue, 1 word. Sounds like ballet, dance, height. Did you pass? Okay. I usually get these things. Okay, how many words? 2 words, okay. Song, movie, book, story, cartoon, film. Is it a genre? Is it a sculpture? Oh, drawing, cartoon, a comic strip, painting, easel, Picasso. Brushstroke, paint stroke, easel,
How many words? What word? 2 words. Brush, paint, quill, stamp, chisel, sculptor. Rodin, the thinker. Keep on. Brush, paint, easel. Oh, graffiti artist. Bang. Banksy, go. Brush, Dolly, painter. Frida Kahlo. Van Gogh, slice that ear. All right. Painter, Dolly. Jackson Pollock, Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa? Da Vinci. The Michelangelo. Take that, Derek. What's next? 1 word. Paintbrush, paint, easel, canvas. Easel? Hey! All right, we're back to give the consolation prize to our poor victim, Mr. Martel. I apologize for you having to be teamed with such a amateur in the game of charades.
The lights was in my eyes.
Yeah, sure. So you get your consolation prize anyway, Martel. Thank you so much. And it's a lot of goodies by some local artists. And before we go and before I do a little more smack talking,
okay.
I want to enjoy this game a little more. Word association, Martel. Just tell me what you like better, Monet or Whistler?
Whistler.
Whistler.
Okay.
Derek, Degas or George O'Keeffe?
George O'Keeffe.
George O'Keeffe. What do you know? You can't play charades. Mary Cassatt or Toulouse-Lautrec?
Mary.
All right. That's good.
Okay.
So anyway, thanks for playing again, Martel. And
right.
stay away from this guy. I would not go to parties with him where they're playing charades and drinking.
The moment that I laid eyes on her, I was hooked. She had a glow that said, "I'm here. I'm waiting. Speak to me. Look at what I have to offer." As my eyes scrolled down her sleek, inviting, and provocative frame, I realized that this was no middle-of-the-road dame. She supplied opportunity, character, security, and a healthy boost to my ego. She had me coming back for more.
All right, we're brought our guest Heidi Clinite back one more time for us. She wants to tell us a little bit more about what she has going on. So Heidi, take it away.
Oh, okay. I also, my friend and I, we submitted and we're awarded. We're part of this CSA program from the 567. It's called Community Supported Arts, and so right now there are 5 different art collaborative works that people are going to make, and at the end of the season, and at the beginning of June, you'll get if you become a shareholder, you'll get 5 original pieces of art from the community.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Neat idea.
Yeah, so if you go to 567 and talk to Mista Martel, she'd be more than happy to tell you more about it. And the shares, I think, are $150.
Okay.
And so you get 5 original pieces of work for that $150. And you can also share the share with friends. If you feel that that's a little much out of your price range, you can go in together like a lottery ticket with your friends. And it's a win-win situation. You get
Great.
5 original pieces of art. So my friend Amy Godwin and I, we're going to, we're collaborating on songs, and we're going to record an album, and I'm going to create the album cover.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, because by the way, we failed to mention Heidi is also a great musician. Tell us about that. Cello or
Viola.
Viola.
Mhm.
Viola. Very
Viola.
good. I've heard her before.
Yeah.
She usually plays out and around downtown. You'll see her play in front of restaurants occasionally on these nice spring nights, and she's very, very talented in that department too. So one more thing, Heidi, didn't you recently win a contest or win a?
Yeah.
Was it?
So the CSA, I won that. So Amy and I were doing that,
Right.
and then the mural that I'm going to do for the facade squad on the empty building. So that was an art contest that I
That
won
was too,
so.
right? And
Okay.
how did you find out about that contest? Was that?
Through the Macon Arts at Heatherly and Jonathan Dye.
Right.
Supported that,
So that's for all you artists out there. Look out there. There's a lot of stuff going on like that.
There is.
Contests where you can join, and different things you can win. So, Derek, any parting words here as we close out today's show?
You were very, very
Say it.
competitive.
Come on, spit it out.
You were better. Yes. I will definitely have to do some more research in my game show competition skills. So thanks for being
thank
here.
you for having me.
You're welcome.
Great guest. And brush up on those skills.
Yes.
Please continue to watch The Art Block with Ant and Derek here on Macon TV WPGA every Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Thanks a lot.